And you're telling her to just go give up her body so some guy will have a playground?
Number 10. A woman is in love with a stranger she's never met. Did you ever see that movie Ingrid Goes West? It's about an unstable woman who mistakes social media attention for adoration and begins to impose upon the life of an Instagram celebrity whom she grows obsessed with. It may sound like exaggerated satire on the use of social media, but it's not too far off from this Dr. Phil story. A woman named Jasmine is cyberstalked by a woman named Bailey, who sends her hundreds of messages a day, writes their names on her bathroom walls, and believes herself to be talking to Jasmine through her mind.
Or what started to happen was she would delete a picture, like on Instagram. And so that's kind of how I would know that I was still allowed to message her.
It's easily one of the weirdest and creepiest segments in Dr. Phil history.
I don't know you. What don't you understand about that?
Number 9. Maryanne tells her daughter to get a boob job. A woman by the name of Maryanne discovered that her husband had visited a strip club over a decade ago. Feeling betrayed and unworthy, she started doubting her physical appearance, even going so far as to install a pole and practice stripping in her house. She also convinced her daughter Miranda to get a significant boob job, and told her to have constant sex with her boyfriend so that he doesn't leave her for someone else.
You know, if you don't give them something, they probably will wander.
In her eyes, all men want is sex and a pretty face. We're not sure if this story is more sad or gross. Either way, it makes for some truly cringy viewing.
And you're telling her to just go give up her body so some guy will have a playground?
Number 8. Sexy Vegan. Sexy Vegan may be one of the most perplexing characters in Dr. Phil history. Originally named Hans, he legally changed his name to Sexy Vegan, had the name tattooed on his forehead, walks around wearing a Speedo, and always carries a mirror.
I got 9.9 out of 10 after 327 women rated me. Let's see your talent. Let's see your talent, you ugly piece of
Okay, stop.
He appears on the show with blue hair, his own theme song, no eyebrows, and a nasty attitude, believing that his mother should support him with his dead father's inheritance, as he's too beautiful for a job. If the story wasn't odd enough, Sexy is then escorted out by security, but not before singing his theme song, berating his mother, and moonwalking across the stage.
That is childish
Awesome.
and immature behavior, and
Now I get to leave.
yes, you do.
No.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Number 7. The Sugar Babies. Riley is living the American dream. She's a self-proclaimed professional sugar baby, meaning she befriends rich older men and provides them with company in exchange for money.
Yeah, I was telling them I'm not a pro. If you're looking for that, you're in the great city, go find one. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and you negotiate the rate before the date. You get the money right? All
Up front.
However, things get really weird and gross when Riley's mother is introduced. As her mother explains, Riley is teaching her how to be a sugar baby herself, and she tells the story of how she and Riley once stripped to their underwear and whipped a man for 30 minutes. It's quite awkward, and seeing the two dolled up and relaying stories of their cooperative adventures is enough to make you squirm in your seat.
Hey, I have some nice stuff, so it works.
Number 6. Lying about medical history. A woman named Jessica states that her mother Patricia did an interview for a local news story, claiming that she had stage 3 cancer in order to receive sympathy and collect donations. On the show, Patricia claims that she's had several strokes, that she had to relearn how to walk and talk, and that she lost 100 pounds in a week.
You lost 100 pounds in 6 days. Does that make even common sense to you?
I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
However, Patricia's medical records show that most of that was fabricated or straight up false. It's a sad and cringy story, especially because it seems that Patricia truly believes the lie she's telling.
Why was walking like almost impossible? Why is it I couldn't feed myself?
Number 5. Nicholas Brendon. Nicholas Brendon is a famous actor known for playing Xander in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Kevin in Criminal Minds. However, he has been battling depression and addiction for years, culminating in his appearance on Dr. Phil. He initially appears friendly and open to receiving help, but soon grows incredibly hostile after Phil's direct line of questioning.
I don't know, what do you want to talk about? It's your show.
His initial appearance was both heartbreaking and awkward, due to Phil's questionable approach to the subject, like asking Nicholas if he's drunk, and Nicholas's increasingly frustrated and defensive demeanor.
I'm not here to kind of have people laugh at my life.
It's one of those interviews you just want to watch through your fingers.
I got a report last night that said that you were at a bar last night.
We're done. I'm not doing this.
And
thank you, though. Thank you.
Number 4. The 8 months pregnant woman addicted to heroin. It's pretty tough watching a pregnant woman mistreat her body with one of the most damaging and addictive substances known to man. This episode features a woman named Nikki who claims to be 8 months pregnant and is prostituting herself to support her and her boyfriend's heroin addiction.
I'm scared that I'm gonna lose her or lose the baby.
It's heartbreaking to hear her claim that she cares more about her drug fix than her unborn baby. Sometimes Dr. Phil can be equal parts devastating and maddening, and this story is definitely one of those instances.
So you do know that if the baby is born and survives, that the baby will be born addicted to heroin?
Yeah. I do know that, yes.
Number 3. Haley is pregnant with baby Jesus. This teen has a bit of a history of making outrageous claims. She originally appeared on the show claiming that she was pregnant with baby Jesus, despite 6 failed pregnancy tests.
One of my biggest temptations is wanting to whack you across the head. I know it's Jesus.
The story is weird enough, but it gets even more embarrassing when she has an ultrasound done for all to see, and it shows absolutely no evidence of a baby, let alone the second coming of Christ.
It is scanning every possible area where your baby would be, and there's no baby.
Apparently learning nothing from her first appearance, Haley later returned to the show and claimed that Eminem was her father, complete with a picture of her uncle as proof. These are the stories that make Dr. Phil so fascinating.
And who's Mikey?
Family from a while back.
Mm-hmm. But it's not Eminem.
No.
Number 2. Romina Garcia defends abuse. It doesn't get much more embarrassing or awkward than watching someone vehemently defend domestic abuse. Romina originally published a video on social media defending abuse, as she believes it is a sign of true love because the abuser is potentially putting themselves at risk of being arrested.
The fact that he put his hands on me means a lot to me because that shows me that he cares.
As she explains to Phil, not just anyone is going to go to jail for you. She then says that she feels like an inspiration to younger girls, and her wisdom will pave the way for happier relationships.
I think you are saying this to get attention.
It's a horrifying opinion on so many levels, and it's infuriating and embarrassing to watch Romina defend it.
No, you're wrong because before this video I was already, I guess, famous on social media.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions.
Well, I thought you said you were driving.
I drove around a corner and parked when that was that. So I guess maybe if I was driving and still driving and then the cop pulled me over, yeah, that's really driving drunk.
And as I said before, I've had to take into consideration that I might be wrong.
You acknowledge the possibility that you didn't write this song.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you acknowledge the possibility that you don't know Taylor Swift.
Absolutely.
And how would you explain thinking, feeling, and telling people that you do? You spent more time talking about cameras, are we rolling, lights, sound, the television aspects of this, than anybody I've ever talked to. But we're not here about your business. We're here about your life.
Number 1. Cash Me Outside. Perhaps the most famous or infamous guest in Dr. Phil history, Danielle Bergoli was so hilarious and absurd that she became a meme. Danielle was brought to the show to get help for her reckless behavior, and most of the interview makes for ridiculous entertainment.
You're talking to be sliding, you mean? That's what makes me want to take the next bitch car.
What now? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Are you speaking English?
We can barely understand a word Danielle says, she's openly belligerent, and in the episode's most infamous moment, she attacks the audience and utters that infamous phrase.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside?
Danielle's threats are so incoherent that her mother has to translate them for the audience. Her appearance catapulted her to internet stardom, and even helped her launch a rap career. Well, how about that?